Hi friends, Shalon Day with Bible Journaling Ministries, and I am inviting you to come along as I do a flip through with the Bible that I started as I began reading and studying through the Bible in January of 2024. I'm not all the way through the Bible. I'm not all the way done with all of my notes. I am taking my time, but I would love to show you just my Bible as it is now and continues to grow as I dig deeper and continue through my reading of the entire Bible. So if you're ready, let's get started. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. I just wanted to show you my English Standard Version leather cover interleaved Bible that I felt a pull and a hunger from the Lord to read through, study through, really dig deep into the entire Bible at the beginning of 2024, and I'm not all the way through yet at all, but this Bible was gifted to me and I have held on to it. I've had it for a couple of years, and so as I was praying about 2024 and really felt the pull from the Lord to dig in and dig deep, I thought this was the perfect Bible to do that with. Now, this is different than my art journaling because I really do a lot of word studies. I use the Tony Evans Bible commentary. I also have two other commentaries that I picked up that a church was giving away for free. One of them is a Matthew Henry commentary. I also utilize the new Unger's Bible Dictionary, Tyndale Bible Dictionary. I go to Bible Hub. I use Bible Gateway. I use my phone. I have several of the Filament Bibles. So I have the Filament app on my phone that I use. I use all of those resources when I am reading and really digging deep into my study. And I'm a huge word nerd, so I love to really dig into words, the Hebrew, the Greek, the Aramaic, the original language of the Bible. I even have a Bible, it's the Ethiopian Bible, and I love to look back at, I use that a lot in my study as well. So as you can see, I do a lot of tip-ins. Some of my information I have pulled from old Bibles that I had, and I recognized that I had, as I was reading, that I had seen those before. I had done a study on them before. So I went back to my old Bibles where I had different notes and pulled them into this as I was studying through. I use a lot of different cardstocks and paper packs. I love to make notes. I love to dig in, and I'm going to tell you, this has completely changed my walk and my journey. I put in little notes. I have no specific color code whatsoever. I use whatever I use. I say that, though, in the Old Testament, I do, so as I get a little further, I do use purple for like a purple, I love to use Crayola Twistables, and I have colored pencils that I use. So anytime that the Lord says something, I always highlight that in purple. That is just my own personal preference. That's how I keep it in my mind. Other than that, I do not have any particular code that I go by. It's just whatever I'm feeling that day, that is what I use. So like this little tag here, Shem, and I have this little tag that says Shem literally means name. His line pointing to the name above all names, which is Jesus. Sometimes I'll find little things online and I'll just print those out and add them to cardstock. I will put cross references of verses that I find. I love to cross reference things. And as you can see, I have all kinds of different little arrows and little printouts. I use a thermal printer to print out things, and as I catch them, like I didn't with these, but I usually put some kind of a clear tape over these so that they don't rub off. But like here, see also Acts 8. Sometimes I'll use stamps. Sometimes I'll use sticky notes. Like this was one that I screenshot on my phone, and then I could use my thermal printer. And then as I got a little further along, I decided to try my hand at writing Hebrew words. And so you'll see that a little bit later, but I love to tab at the top all of the names of the Lord. I tab any chiasms that I come across, and a chiasm is a literary, it's almost like a journey. So you'll see in the text where it starts and it may say one thing and then another and then another, and then it will repeat that, like A, B, C, and it will repeat the C and then go back up to B and then A again. And so I like to tab those as I'm going along in this as well. As you can see, all of the names of the Lord I do tab, and then have the how to pronounce it and the Hebrew word for that. Sometimes I add things just to give myself some more space. I just get creative when I'm spending time with the Lord, and I have been so blessed by starting this journey of reading all the way through. And I also have a Chronological Bible that I use. That's one of my resources that I utilize, and I just absolutely love it. But I use a lot of pictures, and like here are all of these names and what they sound like. Sometimes I make a mistake and I take some washi tape or something and just cover over that and move right along. It's not going to be perfect by any means. So here is Leah, Bilhan, Zilpah, and Rachel, and then these are all of their children color-coded to the way that I wrote the names. So Jacob's family, and then a picture here. Sometimes I'm still progressing in my note-taking, but man, it has been journey with the Lord changing, and I'm enjoying it so much. And like I said, I'm taking my time. I'm not rushing through, and I like to use some of my little stickers that I have just laying around and in my office space here. My washi tape, and like I said, oftentimes I find these little paper packs on clearance at Hobby Lobby or something like that, and so I'll just cut them and use them however I want to. Sometimes I'll have a specific color maybe grouping that I use. Lots of washi tape. I use packing tape. So on the edges here, even on my tabs, I will use packing tape because it's clear, and I'm able to really put a good bend in my tip out or my tip in. And if I've used something on the other side, it doesn't cover that up because it's clear. I have all of these like planner stickers and things like that. So I just grab whatever suits me that day. I'm not and again, I don't use any color coding or anything like that. It's just whatever I am feeling that day, I will use. The Filament app as well is very helpful because it gives you different maps that I can screenshot and put in. So I love my Filament Bibles. But this has, like I said, this has definitely changed my walk. I use other resources online. I love to be able to just dig in. So these are the 10 plagues. Make little notes in the margins on the other page. These interleaved Bibles are perfect for that. Sometimes I use my little crafty scissors that I have from long ago and make a pretty piece of cardstock or pretty edge. Maybe some hole punches or craft punches that I have on hand. But I tell you, we did a study on Acts, and then just books that I read on top of just reading through the Bible. And oh gosh, it has been a journey, and it has been such a blessing. So as you can see, it's not completely full yet, and I'm okay with that. Found this picture of the Ark of the Covenant as I was reading about that, and so I printed that off, added that in. The different angels, the type of the cherubim. I did a study on that, and then the tabernacle tent. I found a good picture, and it told me what things were where and the verses. So I printed that out and put that in here. Don't be scared of reading through the Bible. You would be surprised what Holy Spirit brings to your attention and brings to life. And the more that you read and the more that you study, man, it's just, like I said, I have just so enjoyed this. And my family all knows that when I'm down here in my space and this is what I'm doing, it's my time with the Lord, and they can appreciate that. And so some places are, have a whole lot of stuff, and then other places don't have as much. But I'm learning, and I really geek out on words and word studies. And so I'm learning a lot as I go with word studies as well. Love, love, love the commentaries. Also, Bible Hub, you can get, and that's an app, or you can go online, but on Bible Hub, they have so many different commentaries that you can access and look and see different scholars and their interpretation, or what they have learned or what they have found. Sometimes the internet is a great blessing because you can find things that you may not have been able to know. I talk a lot to Tim about, my grandparents and how they just didn't have all of the information that we have available to them, and how sometimes I wish I could sit and talk to my granddaddy about things that I've learned, or my dad, things that I've learned as I'm digging in, when I look at certain words and what they really meant in the original language, it just excites my heart, and I absolutely, and I could just spend hours. I told my trainer one day, I was like an hour and a half away from meeting him, and I thought, oh, I've got enough time here. I can sit and do some Bible reading and Bible study. And I said, and before I knew it, I looked up and an hour had gone by, and I was like, oh, I just want to stay right here in this for longer. Like, this is what I want. So like, as we were talking earlier about, I don't have a colored key, but if I notice patterns, so in Numbers 28 and 29, it's talking about all of the different offerings. And so every time that the same phrase, pleasing aroma, is repeated, I just highlighted that in pink. That was what I was reading, and I noticed that was repeating throughout both of those chapters. In fact, I think it goes on into chapter 30. So I just chose that pink, just a standard pink colored pencil, and highlighted pleasing aroma throughout. Actually in 30, what was repeated was, and the Lord will forgive her, and the Lord will forgive her, and the Lord will forgive her. And so I highlighted those in like a turquoise color. So Deuteronomy was fascinating, and I learned, so I can't show you all of this, but I also have that I use as a resource, the King James Version Spirit-filled, what is it called? The King James Spirit-filled Life Bible. Fascinating, and it gives so much information and history and backgrounds. And so as I was going through Deuteronomy, that's what all of this is from. And I also learned that throughout the book of Deuteronomy, the phrase, the Lord your God, is used over 250 times. And so throughout this book, every time I saw the Lord your God, I put a circle around it in purple. So that was, again, my key, my guide. And then as I'm writing notes and taking notes and things, if there's things that stick out to me, I may do them in a different color than the other writing that I'm doing. If there are cross-references, I'll do a different color just so that they stand out to me. And that King James Version Spirit-filled Life Bible, it even has these word wealth, which is like right up my alley. I absolutely love that. But it will give you the Strong's number in that Bible. And so I just make a copy of it and then place it in here. So it's just, it's called word wealth. I also have in my arsenal of resources, I do have a Strong's Exhaustive Concordance. I also have a very old New English Bible that was my grandfather's that I use. And I have the Complete Jewish Study Bible. So I love to bring that out and look back at these. And it's a study Bible, so it gives me some more information. It gives me background. I just have, I just love those resources that I have. And it's taken me a while to kind of build my little library here. But and I'm able to utilize things that I have on hand. I've not had to go out and really buy anything. But Deuteronomy was such a, man, this is a rich book of the Bible to read and study. As you can see, I mean, I've got all different colors and different lines, and I used some of my alpha stickers that I had, and it's just so rich. And then as I go from resource to resource to resource, sometimes there are things that are so rich that I just continue to add and continue to add. I'll write in the gutters. So as you can see here, I started teaching myself how to write the Hebrew letters, and then I'll write what the word is, how to say it, what the Strong's number is, and then what the meaning of it is. So it helps me as I go through. And I'm not going to stop. Like I told my husband, this is going to be the Bible that I continue to utilize, even though I've got several other study Bibles. I use those as resources. I have a filament Bible that I take to church with me. At this point, I don't want to take this one to church. I don't want to. I take notes in that Bible as well, but mainly sticky notes. So then I can come home and transfer notes if I want to. So this is just a long tip in. And the commentaries, oftentimes I will make a copy of what it is that I'm reading. Here's another example of a word, a Hebrew word, the Strong's number, what the word is, how to say it, and then what it means. Like I said, I geek out on stuff like that. So Joshua, it's a fascinating book. I found a map. I love to look at maps, and here's another one example of a chiasm, and I go around the group of verses, and then I take a colored pencil and I highlight, like this is A, and then this is B, here's C, here's B, and then I go back and there's A. So this is one chiasm, and then here's another chiasm, and so I just color code whatever feels right to me. I don't have anything to go by, just whatever I like. Picture again, love my little laminating machine that I can use. Here's another chiasm, just interesting. I tabbed 41. 41 is significant and has a very special meaning to me. And I'm a numbers person too. And so I pay attention when the Bible talks about numbers and things like that. But 41 is special to me because of so many instances where things happened for 40, whether it was 40 days, whether it was 40 years, whether it was whatever the amount of time, but 40, and then that 41st, whether day or year, something miraculous happened. So 41 is special to me. I have another chiasm here, another little map, and then what the word means, who I was studying. Let's flip through. Here's Ruth. What's in a name? And then little flip ups and flip outs and tip ins and tip outs. I loved studying the book of Ruth. Short book, but rich, very rich. So that is kind of where I'm at with Old Testament. I'm just getting started now with, I'm getting through Joshua now. So I've got Joshua, Judges, 1 Kings, 2 Kings, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel. I've got all of those books to go through, starting on Psalm as I go through as well. And again, I even tried my hand at a typewriter. I found a typewriter on Facebook Marketplace, and so I tested my skills using a typewriter to take some cardstock and type out some different things. The sticky notes, these are the clear sticky notes. They're Mr. Pen, and they come with a pen, and it does not smear, as you can see. So I'm just getting through some of the Psalms, some of the Proverbs, so they kind of go through. Like I said, just different pieces of cardstock that I have, scraps. I don't throw anything away, so it is handy when I need some smaller pieces or things like that, that I'm able. Here's one that Proverbs 3 verses 5 and 6. I looked up some of the most popular words in those scriptures. So to trust, and tried my hand at Hebrew, then whole or all. So trust in the Lord with all of your heart. So I did the Hebrew word, the Strong's. And then here is heart or inner man, mind, will. And then in verse 6, shall make or direct. So I wanted to know what that was as far as make your paths, he will make your paths straight. So it's just interesting. And like I said, this has really enhanced my study and my walk. I've not done the Gospels yet, except for John. I found this old piece of original script. I don't know where I found this, but this was a copy of the papyrus paper that the Gospel of John was written on, and so I had to add that in here. Just lots and lots and lots of notes in the book of John. And Acts, I have done a study on Revelation, though I've not moved all of my notes from my filament Bible into this Bible. I will do that. I did me a little pocket here and noted a dichotomy that's in John, in the book of John, with the woman at the well. So I just wanted to give you a flip through that of this Interleaved Bible that I have started this journey on, reading my Bible, not just reading, but I mean just very, very, very in-depth studying. Some of these I even took out of an old Bible, like my student Bible that I had when I was in high school and college. And before I knew what Bible journaling was, I was already Bible journaling. So I just took some things out and put into this Bible, and I'll continue as I go. But Bible journaling can look different. There's all different kinds of Bible journaling. And you know, there's note journaling, there's micro journaling, there is, this actually was from one of the Bible Journaling Ministries conferences, and I don't know if it was 21 or 22, but I did this on one of the interleaved pages before I actually started reading through and taking notes. Another entry that I did was from one of the presenters at one of the conferences, and so I did this page in here before I started really doing a lot of note taking and digging in journaling. But I love those pieces. I have this tabbed, women will not remember the pain of childbirth. I didn't know that was in the Bible until I started really digging deep, and it sure enough is. In John 16 verse 21 says, when a woman is giving birth, she has sorrow because her hour has come, but when she has delivered the baby, she no longer remembers the anguish for joy that a human being has been born into the world. And I wondered, for whatever reason, I was thinking about this years ago, I don't remember the pain of childbirth with either of my two. And then I stumble across this and I'm like, oh my goodness, it's biblical. It is biblical that you do not remember the pain of childbirth. So it's just so interesting. Just so interesting. The main theme of John. These are written so that you may believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that by believing you may have life in his name. So that is John chapter 20, verse 31. That's the whole theme of this book. And then we get into Acts, and like I said, we did a study on Acts. So they did one at the church that we attended. I did one on my own, and it just so happened to kind of coincide just a little bit. I was a little bit ahead, but then as the pastor was bringing out some things in his study that we were doing on Wednesday nights, then that gave me reason to come back and throughout the week really dig deeper into Acts and pull some things out, really dig a little deeper into what things meant, and just I've used some stamps in here as well. And again, if they like it ghosted through, it's okay. I just write over it, kind of learning as I'm going as well. But Acts has a lot of tip-ins for me, especially chapters 5 and 6. We really dug very, very deep into, well, I did, into 6, the beginning of the church, laying of hands, deacons, deaconess. I mean, I don't think the pastor was very happy with me because I'd come to Bible study and I'd be like, oh, look what I found, these people and the things, and this is what that meant, and this is the traditions, and I mean, I just went on, and he just did not excite him as much as it did me. And that's okay. That's all right. But Acts, man, I was talking about Deuteronomy being rich. Acts is rich. Acts is so rich. And as you can see, I kind of color coordinated things as I was going through, and just, I don't know if you can hear the smile on my face now, but I have so enjoyed, and I still enjoy, because I'm currently still going through this process and still reading and studying, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I have to stop. And so anyway, like right through here, I haven't gotten to the point yet where I'm like digging in, but I have read through it, and then in some places I have. So I'll go back through and read again and dig some more. It's a journey, and I'm not rushing it, because man, oh man, I'm just loving it. I'm just absolutely just loving it. Just loving it. And being able to utilize things that I have in my little rolly carts around me, and making it, using my colors that really my eye is drawn to, and just being able to use a lot of what I have on hand also makes me happy. But I have this huge pencil pouch that has all of my twistable crayons and colored pencils and some pens that I like to use, and I unzip that and I lay them all out on my desk. Here's another one, fellowship was the word, koinonia, but I tried my hand at writing Greek. So in the New Testament, oops, that come off, didn't it? In the New Testament, mainly Greek, and the Old Testament Hebrew. So if you're curious, or if you're a word nerd like I am, that has definitely filled my heart with joy to really dig into what certain words mean. That's what this whole page is. Agathos, rejoice, contention, unity, highly exalted, and then those Greek words. Another chiasm here. So I just wanted to share with you Bible journaling, it can look different, and it can look different in different seasons of your life, and it can look different for the different ways that you are wanting. My art journaling that I have shared with you all is oftentimes very healing for me, for hurts or sadness. That can really be healing for me. This note-taking type of journaling for me is just, man, it increases my hunger for the Lord, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And there's so many times that Tim comes home from work and he'll say, well, what did you learn? What have you learned today or whatever. So cross-references, again, I love to cross-reference Old Testament. And as I'm reading through and I'm kind of reading Old Testament and New Testament together, there's oftentimes that I recognize things that I have read in the Old Testament that then I read in the New Testament, and it just like, oh my goodness, this was so cool, and I'll go back and find it, and so don't ever be afraid of really digging into your Bible. Find different reading plans. I know there's apps that have reading plans that you can go through. Use those. You don't have to have it. It doesn't have to be the same as mine. It doesn't have to be the same as somebody else's. But utilize. We have so many resources literally at our fingertips that are so helpful and handy. 1 John, 2 John, and 3 John I have gone through. Jude, of course, because it's only 25 verses. That's the whole book. Interesting how the more you dig, the more things come alive to you. And again, I haven't transferred all of my notes from my Revelation study at church. I did add in with this, on this Bible, just a pocket. I need to fix it. And then some paper clips, and then just some little tags and things that I had on hand. Made me a pocket page here in the back, just in case I decided to take this Bible anywhere. As you notice, I don't have any tabs on the side. They're all on the top because of my flap and the way that this Bible closes. So I hope that you have enjoyed this. Like I said, this is a new journey. This has been a new challenge for me, and I have so enjoyed it. I encourage you, and if you have questions, please reach out. Put them in the comments of this video, but you can reach out to me on Facebook. That is not a problem at all. Find me in the beginners community, Bible Journaling Ministries beginners community on Facebook. Just reach out to me privately. It's okay. I just want to encourage you that Bible journaling is so unique. You are so unique, and the Lord grows us in so many different ways. But what we have to do first is just get in the Word and just spend time with Him. Pray, communicate with Him, allow Holy Spirit to guide you, to teach you things. That He's our teacher, He's our comforter, He's the one that was sent to be with us. And so don't shy away from that. And I'm just in love with the Word of the Lord. I just want to encourage you, get in it. Just get in it and see what happens. Give it 30 days, give it 60 days, give it 90 days. But find you a resource, a free resource to use online. You can Google things. Like I said, Bible Hub, Bible Gateway, blueletterbible.org is another great online resource that's free. And really dig in, like put in a keyword, and you can go in and look for the Hebrew or the Greek, or you can compare the two and see, which was meant in this particular scripture. If it's Old Testament, it's Hebrew. If it is New Testament, it's Greek. But I just encourage you. Thank you for joining me. Be sure to subscribe to Bible Journaling Ministries YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this flip through and this chat. I've enjoyed walking with you, and hopefully soon I will do another walkthrough or flip through of this Bible, and we'll see where we are now and where we are then. But until next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you. I can't wait to be with you again soon. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care. Bye-bye.